Hello and welcome to FYI Weekly, your official source for the latest news and information from the city of Greensboro. The Greensboro City Council approved a $534.6 million budget for the 2017-18 fiscal year, which maintains the current city property tax rate of 63.25 cents per $100 property valuation for the 8th consecutive year. While the current tax rate is 2.11 cents higher than the revenue-neutral tax rate, it allows the city to dedicate additional funding for debt service to fully fund the 2008, 2009, and 2016 bond referenda passed by Greensboro voters. Those dollars will fund several council-directed employee compensation priorities and increases overall funds for transit services by more than $450,000. To support ongoing water and sewer maintenance, a water and sewer rate increase of 3.25% for inside city users and 5.5% for outside city users goes into effect on July 1st. This equates to an average monthly bill increase of $1.38 for inside city customers and $5.69 for outside city customers. Despite the increase, Greensboro maintains one of the lowest rates in North Carolina. The approved budget also includes more than $1 million for nonprofits, an average 3% merit increase for eligible city employees, and a 7.5% market rate increase for all sworn police and fire employees. Finally, the budget also continues the city's efforts to continue to offer employees a significant benefits package. To view the full budget, please visit greensboro-nc.gov/budget. The City of Greensboro is opening its doors for a behind-the-scenes look at city operations. If you would like to extinguish a fire or operate a sanitation truck, don't miss the opportunity to participate in the next City Academy. The city is accepting applications for this popular civic education program, and the deadline of registration is July 1st. City Academy is free, and there are 25 slots open for eligible participants. The weekly classes are held from 5:45 p.m. to 9 p.m. from September through November. Graduation will take place during the City Council meeting on November 21st. The program also offers 2 optional sessions with the Greensboro Police Department, providing participants the opportunity to experience hands-on training with firearms, impaired driving, the K-9 unit, and other topics. City Academy offers a behind-the-scenes look into city government through hands-on activities that take place in various city locations. City Manager Jim Westmoreland says City Academy prepares our residents to serve on city boards and commissions, as well as other volunteer opportunities. City Academy is open to adults who reside within the corporate limits of the city of Greensboro. For more information or to apply, please call the Community Relations Office at 336-373-2723. Greensboro Parks and Recreation is offering a free summer playground program called Energy at the Park. It'll be available in 7 neighborhoods from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday until August 10th. Rising first graders through 15-year-olds are invited to take part in supervised sports, games, crafts, and free lunch. Playground locations include Arlington Park, Douglas Park, Eastside Park, Hampton Park, Henneford Park, Heath Park, and Woodmere Park. Children can be registered at each playground. Playground supervisors are CPR and first aid certified. The program will not be offered on July 4th and may close due to severe rain or extreme heat. For more information, please visit greensboro-nc.gov/energy. Volunteer registration is being accepted for the National Folk Festival. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Online volunteer registration is open for the 2017 National Folk Festival, a free 3-day event coming to downtown Greensboro September 8th through 10th. This marks the event's 3rd historic year in North Carolina. Building on the success of the previous 2 festivals and based on a projected audience of more than 150,000, Arts Greensboro hopes to secure approximately 1,500 volunteers this year. Volunteers may sign up online, either individually or in groups, and indicate the role they are interested in, as well as preferred time slots when registering online. Returning volunteers who served at the 2016 National Folk Festival have been emailed an individualized link to update their information. Check your inbox for a volunteer email from National Folk Festival. Volunteer opportunities at the festival include the Bucket Brigade, information services, soda sales, beer and wine sales, and merchandising. Average volunteer shifts are 2 to 4 hours, and volunteers may sign up for more than one shift during the 3-day event. All volunteers will be asked to attend an orientation or special training session. To learn more about volunteer options and to register, please visit nationalfolkfestival.com/volunteer. Or for more information about the festival in general, please visit nationalfolkfestival.com. This summer, the Greensboro Youth Council will present Girls Leadership Edge. This 5-part program teaches middle school girls ages 12 to 14 to be courageous, compassionate, and confident leaders in their community. The program will be held from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday from July 11th to August 10th. The girls will meet at Peeler Recreation Center located at 1300 Sykes Avenue. Registration is required for this free program. The deadline is June 30th. Girls Leadership Edge was developed by the Women's Professional Forum Foundation in partnership with the Center for Creative Leadership and the Guilford Nonprofit Consortium. The program explores issues such as communication, conflict resolution, and valuing differences. For more information or to register, please visit greensboro-nc.gov/GYC. In an effort to spotlight and celebrate the entrepreneurs, the artists, the community builders, and essentially the next generation of leaders, the City of Greensboro is proud to partner with Action Greensboro to introduce our Made in Greensboro series. This day, we place the spotlight on furniture maker Sam Rouse. Sam Rouse graduated from the prestigious Chippendale International School of Furniture in Scotland. Creating things with his hands gives Sam a sense of enjoyment. After finishing school, the Goldsboro native and his young family of 3 returned to North Carolina. Sam was walking down Elm Street and took a turn onto West Lewis Street and stumbled upon The Forge. Simply put, Sam says, "We moved to Greensboro because of The Forge. It showed the type of support a maker like myself wanted." The Nussbaum Center helped him get started. Local businesses close to The Forge, like HQ Greensboro, have also helped him in the early stages. Sam says Greensboro has a wealth of information and knowledge. "I've adapted quickly and can easily call Greensboro home now." In addition to making and creating furniture, Sam would one day like to eventually start a makerspace for woodworking workshops. Walt Disney is one of Sam's heroes in the business world because of his work ethic and desire to do everything to the best of his abilities. To learn more about Made in Greensboro or to see more images taken by photographers Jerry Walford and Scott Mothersbaugh, visit the Action Greensboro website at madeingso.com. More city services can be paid online in addition to water bills and parking tickets. Residents can now go online and click on the tab entitled Pay Your Miscellaneous Invoice. Options for online payments now include false alarms, code enforcement violations, monthly parking deck fees, fire violation inspections, landfill charges, daycare facility fees, and more. An invoice qualifies as miscellaneous if the invoice is sent by the City of Greensboro and reads Miscellaneous Invoice, City of Greensboro at the top center of the invoice. These invoices can still be paid in person at the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street, or at the Kitchen Operations Center at 2602 South Elm Eugene Street, and also by mail at P.O. Box 3136, Greensboro, North Carolina 27402. The city is preparing to embark on a new budget cycle exceeding $500 million. Coming up after the break, City Manager Jim Westmoreland will stop by to discuss the highlights. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The City Council passed the budget for the 2017-18 fiscal year to the tune of $534.6 million. Joining me now to explain the highlights of the budget and what it means to you, our residents and taxpayers, is City Manager Jim Westmoreland. Hello, Mr. Westmoreland. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you, Carla.
Sure. So Council has managed to approve the budget with the property tax remaining the same as it was last year. What does this mean with respect to debt service and employee salaries?
So City Council back in April directed me to keep the property tax rate the same for the fiscal year 17-18, which is 63.25 cents per hundred value. So I incorporated that in the budget, and the specific reasons behind it included, like you mentioned, additional funding for debt service. So as you know, and as many of our citizens know who went to the ballot in November 2016, we had a significant number of bond initiatives that were approved at that point in time, about $126 million worth of bonds. We have some bonds remaining from 2008 and 2009 that we still need to issue. So a significant percentage of that additional funding for next year will be used for debt service. So as we sell bonds and we have to pay off both the principal and interest on those bonds, that's what that will be used for. The good news for the citizens of Greensboro is that will help us continue to advance all of our bond projects on the schedule that Council has set. So as we look to advance the work of 2008, 9, and even 2016 bond projects, we can be assured that we have the funding and adequate funding to do that. The second component of that had to do with a number of employee-generated compensation initiatives that Council has put into play over the past many years. So a couple of things that this budget specifically addresses is a continuation of some of the work that the Council has with the stated goal of increasing the minimum wage of all workers in the City of Greensboro to $15 an hour by 2020. So this incrementally is the next step for full-time, part-time benefited employees, for our roster or hourly employees of the city. So it provides some additional increment of increase for that. Plus there was a number of things that they did this year with employee salaries, both for public safety and for the general employee base. So with public safety, for all sworn police and fire employees, they're looking to provide them with a 7.5% increase over the course of the next year. For the general employees of the organization, it's a 3% increase. In all total, though, I think that this will be the 8th consecutive year that we've been able to hold the property tax rate at the same level. And certainly City Council remains focused on the priorities of the city and the city organization with the effort to provide additional resources for debt service, employee initiatives, and the things that we talked about.
Great. It's nice to see the balance that we're on schedule with the bonds. Absolutely. And then also to see that the council is committed to our employees as far as their wages.
Absolutely.
As speaking of things that are increasing aside from salaries is also our water rates. Council approved the water rate increase. This impacts residents whether you live in the city limits or outside. Can you explain the difference?
Yes, so we operate a major water sewer utility in Greensboro and Guilford County, obviously. So every year as we run the enterprise, we have to look at the cost associated with what it takes to do that and provide that back in the way of required fees for our service. So when you purchase water from the city, whether you live in the city or outside the city limits, there's fees that you pay per unit for that service. So the primary cost drivers of our utility are not unlike other utilities across the state. They include certainly a component for debt service. So as we've had to make improvements to our system over the course of the past many years, we have some very significant capital intensive, expensive projects that we're currently financing. Probably the most notable one is our TZO wastewater treatment expansion plant, which cost over $100 million to implement that project. We continue to stay focused on long-term and short-term maintenance of the system. So Greensboro's been around a long time. We have a lot of water assets out there and sewer assets in our infrastructure and under our streets that are over 100 years old. So we've committed to every year sort of incrementally improving and maintaining that system so we can continue to have a very high quality, well-operating system. And when you have the resources to maintain your facility and your assets, you're able to keep your overall costs down to your users. So as we benchmark ourselves against other major cities across North Carolina, I'm pleased to report that we still have the second lowest overall water rates in the state as it relates to major municipalities and what they charge. So where any increase is always certainly viewed seriously by us, and you know, we would love opportunities to continue to find ways to keep our rates extremely low. The citizens should rest assured that, you know, from a stewardship perspective, we look at these adjustments. We don't take them lightly, but we're, along with City Council, looking at continuing to provide a very quality, safe, affordable drinking water service and system to our community.
Wonderful, and we do have one of the best water systems in the state.
Absolutely.
And finally, as folks are driving around town in these recent weeks, they've probably seen a lot of road construction.
Yes.
Is this the result of the increased vehicle tax that was passed by council last year?
Yes, that's a good point. So last year, and even this year with the 2016 bonds and some of what we talked about earlier with the additional money available for debt service, there were a couple of things that were put in place. First of all, City Council and our organization heard the call of need and complaints that we received about streets and conditions of streets last year specifically, even the year before. So what City Council did last year with the adopted budget is they looked to increase what we call the vehicle use fee, which is effectively the fee that people in Greensboro pay for their personal vehicles. So that fee increased from $10 a year to $30 a year. So that additional $20 per year has allowed us to effectively double our street resurfacing program this year and going forward. With the 2016 bond, there was also some supplemental, I think it was like $5 million that was included in that bond to give us an extra $1 million a year on top of what we're already doing. So the real benefit to our community is you're going to see a much more robust, comprehensive, active street resurfacing program taking place over the course of the next many years, thanks in part to certainly the actions of City Council, the resources we receive from the voters and the citizens of Greensboro. But again, from my perspective, I always look at things about how does it enhance our both quality of life and economic development competitiveness in our community, and I can tell you that both of those boxes get checked by our resources going into our maintenance and our upkeep of our street system. Again, we have a lot of things going on right now. Street resurfacing is one component. We certainly have a lot of major capital roadway projects that are both active and things that are about to happen. Again, it's our result of good planning, good leadership of our City Council, certainly the execution of those plans by our staff team. You know, we're very fortunate to be able to continue to provide the resources, and we know where those resources come from. They come directly from the citizens who live here, and we certainly value and appreciate and use those resources very wisely.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Westmoreland, for stopping by first and foremost, but explaining this in a way that our residents can understand as they see the things that are coming as a result of the millions and millions of dollars that it takes to operate the city of Greensboro.
Thank you, Carla.
Thanks for coming in, and we hope you'll come back and see us.
I will.
Stay tuned for a little known fact about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. One way to stay informed about what's happening in the city is by attending City Council meetings. The Greensboro City Council meetings are open to the public and air live right here on the Greensboro Television Network. Regular meetings take place at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesdays of the month in the council chambers on level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule, please visit greensboro-nc.gov/council meetings. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. There are 53 landmark properties in Greensboro. Owners of officially designated landmarks are eligible for a deferral of up to 50% of their property taxes. The Guilford County Historic Preservation Commission must approve any changes to landmarks. The National Register of Historic Places is the nation's official list of properties worthy of preservation. 12 districts and 60 individual properties in Greensboro are listed on this register. Listing places no restrictions on the property, but it makes the owner eligible for federal and state tax credits for rehabilitation. The city participates in the review of National Register nominations. Neighborhoods that have historic or cultural significance but do not qualify for National Register or Local Historic District designation may be considered for Heritage Community status. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you what's going on in the city if you're looking for something to do this week. Now it's time to check in with Jody Stanley for a look at things to do and places to go. Jody?
Thanks, Carla. This week we'll highlight all of the fun events happening around town as we celebrate Independence Day. Let's get started. The Fun 4th Festival begins on Monday with a Freedom Run. Registration opens at 6:15 p.m. at 317 South Green Street. You can run a 10K, a 5K, or 1 mile. Come run in honor and support of military personnel who protect and defend our freedom. Deck yourself out in a patriotic costume and show off your American spirit. Register now at freedomrun10k.com. After the run, head over to the American Block Party at the Elm Street and Green Street parking lot. That's where you'll find live music, free admission, and cool refreshments from 7 to 11 p.m. For more information on the Fun 4th events, including the road races and the block party, go to fun4thfestival.com. On Tuesday, Fun 4th continues with the largest 4th of July festival in North Carolina. 5 areas will be filled with live performances, vendors, interactive games, and connection with the community. The festival will take place from 1 to 8 p.m., so put on your red, white, and blue and come downtown to celebrate. For a complete list of all activities, go to fun4thfestival.com/event. For the convenience of all festival attendees, a free trolley will be available during the July 4th Street Festival to assist with traveling throughout the festival footprint. Trolley stops are listed at fun4thfestival.com/maps and parking. End the day with a free Patriot Fireworks concert featuring music by Dixieland Band and the Greensboro Concert Band beginning at 8:45 p.m. at First National Bank Stadium. Gates open at 6:30 p.m. and the fireworks show will start at 9 p.m. The event is free and brews and food will be available for purchase. The Fun 4th Festival is not possible without the support of over 200 volunteers. Sign up to volunteer and receive pre-event training, volunteer t-shirt, and access to exclusive volunteer hospitality areas at fun4thfestival.com/volunteer. From everyone here at the city, make sure you have a safe and happy July 4th. Back to you, Carla.
Thank you, Jody. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The city's Department of Transportation, or GDOT, seeks to increase public safety and mobility through the effective planning, construction, and maintenance of transportation infrastructure and operation of municipal transit. Services provided to residents, businesses, and visitors include traffic signals and signs, transportation planning, parking, street lighting, sidewalks, and bikeways. GDOT also oversees the Greensboro Transit Authority public transit system and the specialized community area transportation service for persons with disabilities. On the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO segment. Graduates of the inaugural Kitchen Connects GSO Entrepreneurial Incubator Program for local food businesses made its debut at the Greensboro Curb Farmers Market on Yanceyville Street. A total of 15 graduates offered their products at a specially designated kiosk. Kitchen Connect GSO brings together Greensboro's first shared-use kitchens with food safety and small business training classes to create a unique local food incubator program. The program's goal is to provide opportunities for new value-added product startups to begin or expand their operations and increase the public's access to consumption of locally produced foods. Kitchen Connects GSO is made possible by a USDA Local Food Promotion Program grant and a partnership of the Greensboro Farmers Curb Market, Out of the Garden Project, Guilford County Cooperative Extension, and the City of Greensboro. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.